Okay, so hello everyone. I wanted to thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate it. And my name is Jason, and I'm a channeler and a Course in Miracles student and a musician, among other things. And anyway, nice to see you, nice to meet you. So today there's two things I'd like to do, or maybe three. The first, I want to talk about lesson 66 in A Course in Miracles. That is the lesson that I'm on today. And the lesson is, my happiness and my function are one. So this is a lesson talking about your function, and your function is forgiveness. So your function is to forgive the world and to become one with God and to show people the way. So this is trying to make you understand that we assume, I guess, religions, organized religions of all flavors, always tend to teach us that we have to suffer in order to reach whatever it is that God wants us to do. Whatever it is, it includes suffering. And again, if the word God bothers you, you can replace it with source, or whatever word you'd like to use, Buddha mind, or whatever it is that floats your boat. But I think for me, I think it's all the same idea. They're just words that are describing this thing that exists and that we all experience. And so, but we have this image, we're trained to believe that suffering is part of the spiritual path, and you have to suffer, and which is not true. And so this lesson is trying to get you to realize that it's not, you don't have to suffer. That in fact, what the ego creates for you is where you suffer. And so they have the meditation for this one. They usually have two longer meditations, one in the morning and one at night, and then you just do the meditation throughout the day. But the longer one, they said, think about the many forms the illusion of your function has taken in your mind, and the many ways in which you try to find salvation under the ego's guidance. Did you find it? Were you happy? Did they bring you peace? We need great honesty today. Remember the outcomes fairly, and consider also whether it was ever reasonable to expect happiness from anything the ego ever proposed. Okay, so yeah, yes. So we assume that, for example, we should follow the ego's advice and get that big house and get that amazing job and that salary, and then I'm going to be happy. And once I get that car, then everything's going to be okay. In my case, it was always, once I write that piece, and once I write that amazing song, and then once I become famous, then everything's going to change, and all of these kinds of things. But none of these things, all of these different things that you imagine, we have power to create these things. So I've created different things in my life, and once I've got them, I realized, like I'm sure a lot of you listening have also realized, that once you get them, you think, oh, well, I got it, now what? This wasn't happiness. This just was a thing that I thought I wanted, or I thought I needed. And so the Course in Miracles is kind of getting away from that and getting more towards your heart compass, your guidance, and finding out what you really, really need and what would really make you happy. And part of that is just realizing that you're one with God. You're at one. And so if you're at one with God, you're at one with everyone that you see. Everyone is you, and they're all your brothers or sisters, and so you're all one. You're all working together. There's no reason to fight with them. So yes, that is my spiel about lesson 66. And so another thing I wanted to ask is the concept of the Course in Miracles is that everything is a projection. So we are seeing our minds projected out in front of us. And so I think about, for example, recently I've been going to some dark places, and not on purpose, of course, but I've been guided to be in places where the energy is a bit lower, and I can sense the energy is lower. But I wonder, if I'm sensing that the energy is lower, is that just my energy? Am I projecting that energy out? Is that just me? And I kind of assume that the answer I might get is, it is and it isn't, which is usually the type of answer that the guides give. But yeah, and so I'm going to ask that question, and then also say I'm almost finished with my dragon book. I'm just finishing up the cover. I have a friend that's an amazing artist, and I wanted to ask him to do the cover work, but I was guided to actually draw it myself. So my artwork that looks like probably a grade school or maybe third grade or fourth grade level of art, but I was told that that's what I needed to do, because that would something about that would attract the people that need to see it. So there you go. And it's also funny. I'm going through the text now. It's all written, and I'm just revising, and it's funny to think that I'm correcting the grammar of a dimension. I'm correcting the grammar of a dragon in another dimension. Yeah. Anyway, so yes. So then I'm going to just ask that question about dark places. Is that just my projection onto that place, or is it really dark? And yeah, I kind of assume the question is going to be yes and no, but okay, so let me ask them if they can give me something a little bit deeper to about that. And any other advice for anyone, for everyone? Okay, so here we go. Yes, we are the Hathors, and we have come today with a message of love and a message of light, because those are the messages the only messages that you may have, are the only messages that are true. And so what we would bring through today is a message of love, and a message that the dark that you see, you are seeing with your body's eyes. And we know that this channel will not be happy with our answer, but that is the answer that we will give. That the darkness that you see is a mixture of the darkness that is there and the darkness that is inside of you. And sometimes there is a resonating frequency. And that resonating frequency is resonating something inside of you. And it is a trigger. So the darkness is a trigger. It pulls you into something that you need to fix within yourself. And once you fix that within yourself, it fixes it outside of yourself, or the projection that you see outside of yourself. Now, again, this is a shared projection. So in a place, as you might say, a place might be given this energy, might be given this, as you say, darkness or lack of light. And that might be a shared projection, so that when you go into a place like that, you sense the shared projection, the projection that other people have put on it. And then if you sense that darkness, that means that it is triggering some of the darkness that is inside of you. And by darkness, we mean things that you need to work on. So going into these dark places is a sort of therapy. And now again, as this being said, he is not going into these places of his own volition. He is being guided there. He finds himself in these places. And this is something that's very important for you, because now we would say, do not underestimate the shadows. They are there for a reason. And as you said, they can be a very shared darkness, and it can be a strong darkness. And if you're not ready for it, it might not be correct for you to be in that place at that time. So always go with your guidance. Go to the places that you need to go, that you feel you are guided to go. And that is very, very important. Always listen to your guidance. So we would not suggest doing that, going into these places to help yourself. You will be guided where you need to go. That is very, 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 very important for all of you. So this idea of going to the dark places and seeing something that is dark, it will trigger something in you, and that will give you the incentive to work on that in yourself. And then that working on it in yourself will dispel that shared darkness there. So the people that are sharing that darkness will no longer experience that darkness there. And so this is the concept that this being is working with, is seeing. And so yes, the answer is, as the channel does not want to hear, a yes and a no. All right, so that's the Hathors and that. I guess today's going to be a quick message. And anyway, cheers. Thank you everyone for watching.